Hello and welcome to Cycling Through Life. My name's Thad and I appreciate you joining me today. I am a husband and father of two in my mid-50s. I've been in my job for almost 30 years in sales. And I've been riding bikes for 25 years. And my goal for this channel is to hopefully inspire, motivate, teach, entertain, let you see some nice scenery. I live in Middle Tennessee, southern Middle Tennessee. You're not going to get nice scenery today. It's 40 degrees and cloudy. Typical early winter day in Middle Tennessee. Rather chilly. But I've experienced so much through my life. Tons of failures and some success. Health issues. Personal trials and tribulations along with good things. Business wise, I've been successful, but also had a lot of failures. And I've learned a lot. And if I can just share one thing each ride and help somebody out there, that's worth it to me. So again, appreciate you for tuning in. And for those cyclist enthusiasts, I am riding a BMC Time Machine R1 with some Princeton Wheel Works wheels, and they are absolutely fabulous with SRAM ETAP components. If you can hear that beeping occasionally, that's a Garmin rear light with a radar, and there it is right there. And that's telling me a car is behind me for safety and also for me to hopefully get out of the way so I'm not impeding them and pissing them off any more than they already are. So, a little bit about me and kind of how I got into cycling. I always played sports growing up, football, basketball. And when I graduated college, I stopped kind of working out, and when I was in college, I played basketball every day for hours on end, and my grades showed it, but I just loved it. It kept me in shape. But when I stopped and I graduated, got a job, I couldn't do that. But I continued to eat the same as if I was. And long story short, by the time I'm in my late 20s, I was 6'3", about 275 pounds. And my cholesterol was over 330. And the lady that tested my cholesterol said, "I'm not a doctor, but if you don't go get that checked and do something about it, you're not going to be around for a while." So heart problems and heart disease runs in my family on my grandfathers, and so I kind of made a goal to myself that I was going to start trying to run. And at 275 pounds, that's no easy task. And I remember I sat out every day with a goal to at least walk/run for 30 minutes a day. And it was hard. A friend of mine told me, whatever you do, do not step on the scale for 6 weeks, because you're not going to see the progress after a week. You're going to get frustrated and you won't stick with it. And so I did. I went out and I think I probably ran/walked for 20-something minutes, half a mile. For the first couple of weeks, I got up to kind of running more than I was walking. And I'm sorry, a mile, not a half mile. And it was brutal. I remember coming home, my legs were killing me, but I did it every single morning before I went to work. And it just kind of established that routine in me. Now, even today, when I go for a ride, I like doing it in the morning, if I can. And it helps me start the day, get my mind right, and actually energized, even though I may have a hard ride or I may have to get up early. I feel better. So I did that, eventually got up to a mile running, and then 2 miles. And I'll never forget, it was a Saturday, and I wanted to do like 3 miles. I wanted to do a 5K by myself just to see if I could do it. And I did. I ran 3 miles. I had been kind of running for 2 months, and I did it. I came home and I stepped on the scale, and I was 230 pounds, and I was pumped. So in just 2 months, I had dropped 40 plus pounds just by exercising. It was kind of already in me because I'd just been active my whole life, and I could drop weight and gain weight pretty easy. But to do something every day for 60 days, it was pretty remarkable. And it gave me the motivation to continue. So much so that I did enter a 5K, eventually a 10K, and decided, I want to do half marathon. And during the training of that half marathon, I injured my knee. Come on, thank you. I developed ITB, iliac band syndrome, and it was very painful. A friend of mine at work said, you know what, you ought to look into cycling. And I did. And I loved it. Still continue to run. That's just a different animal. But then the competitor in me was like, you know what? I want to try triathlons. So I taught myself how to swim better. I could already swim, but the internet wasn't as much of a thing back then, so I read books, talked to people at the Y who I saw were swimming, and learned how to swim more efficiently. And competed in my first triathlon, Memphis in May, which is an Olympic distance triathlon. And I'll tell that story in another episode, but again, it was just that thing that I needed. I'm such a competitive person, and to stay motivated with exercise, I needed a goal. I needed something. Well, I'd gotten down to about 205 pounds. Got married at early 30s, had 2 kids pretty quickly, and I had to give triathlons up and really only had time for one of the 3 disciplines. And I just love cycling more than the others. So I got a better bike. I started riding all the time. Every Saturday, I'd join a local bike club and I'd ride with them, push myself, learned a lot. But I really quickly found myself not getting what I wanted out of it. And I found a group of 6 guys in town, all experienced riders, most of them older than me at the time. And they rode out of the local bike shop every Saturday. I asked them if I could join them, and it was great. It fueled me even more. They taught me how to ride in a pace line. They taught me the rules of the road, the do's and don'ts. It was really my first experience with cyclists embracing the teaching aspect to somebody else. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath today. But, I mean, these guys quickly became my family outside of my family. And I looked forward to every Saturday getting together with them and just catching up and getting out some beautiful scenery, pushing yourself. Even though it wasn't a race, we kind of competed against each other. It was great. And then, at one point, one of the guys, he had been riding about as long as I have, maybe a little bit longer. He said, "Thad, I just joined this race team. I think you ought to look into racing. You're pretty fast. I'm loving it." So I was apprehensive. I was like, I'm not that fast. Didn't think I was. Hang on. Just to give you an idea of the speed on this camera, I don't know if it does it justice, but right now I'm doing about 28, 29, now 30 miles an hour. Please hold on. So, I started training a little bit more serious. And I'll get into this again in another episode, but I entered a Cat 5 race, and it just happened to be close to my home. It was a Tennessee State Championship road race. And I'll save the story for later, but let's just say it went well and gave me the confidence to go ahead and continue racing for years to come. In fact, I probably raced for 10 years, started an own amateur cycling team through my company, and became one of the strongest amateur cycling teams in Tennessee, really. We had both men and women that were just fast and loved cycling. And I realized, looking back, of how that just kept me going through the years, like the pushing of your brother and wanting to not let them down. And sacrificing some days for them sacrificing some days for you. And I just got a ton of stories about races and outcomes and rides that I'm excited to share with you. Also tips, if you're new to cycling and you found this channel, I'll be talking about some tech, some do's and don'ts, some training along the way. I don't want the videos to be too long where you're getting bored, but I want them to be informative enough to give you something so when you do tune in, anyway, I divorced, then remarried, then late in my 40s, and my wife now developed some chronic illnesses during COVID after a surgery, and I've become her caregiver, and that's a whole nother experience, man. I mean, to see the love of your life, your spouse suffer every day, and there's really nothing you can do other than pray for her, support her, do things physically for her that she can't do. It's both rewarding to help her and also so brutal to watch and feel your loved one just in so much agony. And I'll talk about some of the diseases, or sicknesses rather, that she has. I wouldn't say diseases, they're just illnesses. So she has EDS, mast cell activation syndrome, gastroparesis. She suffers from chronic migraines. I mean, it's just a myriad of illnesses that are not curable. And if I can bring awareness to any of those down the road through this channel, I'm happy to. But yeah, so I no longer race now. I ride for fun. I am on Strava under an alias, which is a whole nother story I'll talk about. But it just, again, if I'm in the mood and I have the shape and the form, it gives me something to compete on certain days and go out and push myself. Days like today, I haven't ridden in a week, and I'm just out here for you. I'm out here for my mental well-being. It's been a stressful week, and I needed it. This is my therapy. I don't have a lot of outlets. I'm not a drinker. I don't hang out with buddies. I do my job, take care of my wife and my 2 grown kids when they need me. And this is my outlet. And again, another reason why I started this, I talk to myself internally every time I ride. So I thought, why not talk to somebody that can maybe benefit? So I'd appreciate it if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Put a comment down on anything you'd like for me to talk about. Any suggestions? I got so many things on my mind that I want to share. I'll try to record something every time I ride. Sometimes I won't be able to. But my goal is to provide you as much content as possible. So again, I appreciate you tuning in. Until next time, y'all get home safe.